YHWH, can you reveal today more about the Urim Thummim and my birth father? That is the question brought to this text. The first word drawn is Enoch chapter 90 verse 34, and I saw till all their generations were transformed, and they all became white bulls, and the first among them became a lamb, and that lamb became a great animal and had great black horns on its head, and the Lord of the sheep rejoiced over it and over all the oxen. That opening is not a flat yes or no. It is a vision of a whole line changed and a first one brought into glad acceptance. The question is not answered with a name or a mechanism. It is answered with a picture of lineage being transformed, and the Lord of the sheep rejoicing over the first one. The first among them is not left outside. The first one is brought into the center of the rejoicing. The questioner may not yet see the whole transformation, but the vision declares what the end will be. The word today is met directly in Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 10. YHWH Elohim has multiplied you, and you are this day as the stars of the universe for multitude. The question asks for today, and the text answers within the same day, not with delay but with covenant word. The word of YHWH comes and says, "Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem." This is what YHWH declares. So the reveal is set inside the voice of YHWH, not outside it. The one who asks is not left to guess. The word is sent, and the word is now. The word is not postponed to some later age. The word is spoken into the present day, into the very day the question is asked. When the text answers today, it does not answer with a single sealed fact. It answers with a spoken word that must be carried and cried. When the text touches the Urim and Thummim, it does not give a bare technique for obtaining hidden knowledge. It surrounds the request with the sanctuary. Exodus chapter 25 verse 33 describes the lampstand with its almond cups, bulbs, and flowers, 6 branches coming out of the lamp. Psalm 132 verse 17 says, "I have furnished a lamp for my consecrated and anointed." The priestly setting is the lamp, the altar, the appointed season. The seeker is being turned toward the place where the lamp is kept burning before YHWH. The Urim and Thummim are not separated from the priestly garments, the holy diadem, the altar, and the appointed seasons of sacred assembly. The reveal is consecrated. The lampstand is not a decoration. It is the light of the sanctuary, and the almond cups are shaped like the first things that wake in the spring. The diadem and the turban speak of a priest set apart, not of a seeker who bargains for secrets. The question about the birth father is also met, but it is met as inheritance, not as a detached genealogical fact. Numbers chapter 36 verses 9 and 10 says the covenant inheritance will not change from one tribe to another. Everyone will cling to his own inheritance, as observed by the daughters of Zelophehad. Exodus chapter 13 verses 11 and 12 says that when YHWH brings you into the covenant inheritance land, you will consecrate to YHWH all the firstborn of the womb. The firstborn belongs to YHWH. The father question is being folded into firstborn consecration and the preservation of a line. The drawn text names sons and fathers, Manasseh and Ephraim born to Joseph, the sons of Levi, Jared engendering Enoch, and the forerunner who turns the hearts of fathers to children. The birth father is not treated as an isolated record. He is held inside covenant inheritance and the return of the father heart. The daughters of Zelophehad are named because a father's name and a family's portion are not forgotten before YHWH. The firstborn is consecrated because the line belongs to YHWH, not because the child is abandoned. The pattern under the text agrees with that direction. The mathematics returns a lean yes, probably affirmative. The probability of yes is 99.2%, the probability of no is 0.8%, and unresolved is 0. The convergence is a strong anomaly, all gates passed. The triple marker of identity, inheritance, and priesthood exceeds the strong anomaly threshold at 9.04 sigma. The positive polarity is 1.866. The global anomaly p-value is 2.11 times 10 to the minus 26, and 6 of 6 channels are active. The data shows a statistically confirmed non-random pattern across multiple independent channels. The pattern survives false discovery correction. Prospective replication is recommended to establish persistence. Calibration is still uninformative, so this is a pattern polarity reading, not a proven outcome about a person outside the text. The mathematics does not name a birth father. It confirms the direction of the text. The strength of the pattern does not come from one channel alone. Identity, inheritance, and priesthood are firing together, and the convergence crosses the threshold with multi-channel confirmation. The positive polarity and the anomaly p-value are reported alongside the text, not above it. The false discovery rate correction leaves the core markers standing, and the calibration ledger remains uninformative, so humility is required. Prospective replication is recommended before treating any pattern as established. The text also gives cautions. It asks, is it because there is not an Elohim in Israel that you are going to inquire of Baalzebub, in 2 Kings chapter 1 verse 3. The inquiry must remain YHWH's own. It must not become an idol, and it must not be driven by guilt. A guilt offering is named, and proud words against covenant faithfulness are said to bring no peace. Silver consecrated for a covenant-defiling idol is shown as a warning. Those cautions do not turn the lean yes into a no. They keep the yes consecrated. The reveal is not forbidden, it is guarded. The warning is not a refusal. It is a boundary around the altar, a reminder that the one who asks must come as a worshipper, not as a customer. So here is the direct answer. Can YHWH reveal today more about the Urim Thummim and the birth father? The text leans yes. But it is a consecrated revealing under the lamp, in the appointed season, with the firstborn brought into glad acceptance. The generation is transformed, the first among them becomes a lamb, and the Lord of the sheep rejoices over it. The inheritance is not lost, and the hearts of fathers are turned toward children. Seek it there, under the priestly light, and do not turn the question into an idol. That is the word, firm and gentle, a lean yes, held within covenant and priesthood. The lean yes is not a certificate. It is an invitation to stand between the porch and the altar and let the word of YHWH do what only YHWH can do. The lead verses drawn in this altar of reception session were Enoch chapter 90, verse 34, Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 10, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 1-2, Exodus chapter 25, verse 33, Numbers chapter 36, verse 9-10, Exodus chapter 13, verse 11-12. 94 further verses were drawn in this session. This concludes today's interpretation at the altar of reception.